Hey everybody, it's GomletX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing another Premier Draft of Murders at Karlov Manor. Without further ado, let's grab our Pack 1 Pick 1, one of the best cards in the set. Aurelia's Vindicator is a busted mythic. We can play this face down and flip it up later to exile a bunch of stuff off our opponent's board, and potentially from our graveyard. If we're exiling it off the board, then we're hoping to keep the Vindicator around to keep that stuff out of our opponent's hand. But if we exile stuff from our own grave, that makes it so even if the Vindicator dies, we get some great value, getting some graveyard recursion. So this card's completely nuts. It's also just so strong up front that sometimes you can just hard cast it if you've got a good aggressive curve. So this is an easy Vindicator. Pack 1, pick 2. Now we've got an inside source to stick to white with one of white's best commons. It's a pretty easy pickup. The most open pick we could take here. If we take Killer Among Us, which is one of the strongest cards, we're pushing towards 2 colors with green-white specifically. Same with if we take the multicolored card or anything like that. Pick number 3, there is nothing in white, so that is an immediate dead end after the Aurelia's Vindicator. Honestly, there's nothing even that good here. Topiary Panther is solid for green decks because most of them do a lot of splashing and they can use the mana fixing. This also gives you 6 evidence in your graveyard while you mana fix, so card's been reasonable. Interrogators is fine for slower black decks, but if we're black-white, that's a really aggressive archetype. Crime Stopper Sprite is fine in blue-white detectives, and our first couple picks are fine for that deck too, so I guess I'll take the sprites. But I'm not super into it. Pick 4, Jaded Analyst is fine in blue-white detectives. It's quite filler. But it is hard to find 2 drops that aren't just filler anyway. And the other cards are all for multicolored, big late game kind of decks. Not really what we're doing. Pick 5, Cold Case Crackers, great in blue-white detectives. It's a really simple deck to get into here. Simple path for the draft, which I'm definitely very into because I am still pretty ill and we're reaching the end of this recording session, so I am becoming really out of it right now. Don't worry about me too much. I have tested and it's nothing super bad. It's just regular cold flu stuff, but I still get massive headaches when I'm sick, so I don't enjoy doing anything super thought demanding while I'm ill, which is why it's a little rough. That's one of my part-time jobs is making Magic content. So here we are, hitting those daily videos for you all. We've drafted exclusively creatures at this point, so we should probably take bounce spells pretty highly now, like the 2-mana bounce we've been passing up on. Hotshot Investigators is actually pretty fine at the top end. Everything else there is pretty filler. Another Murders at Karlov Manor draft, another draft where not a single white card will be passed out of all 3 packs. Who would have guessed? It is wild how contested white is in a lot of these draft pods nowadays. Almost feels like a little bit of an overcorrection. And it makes it super rough when you get to open with like Aurelia's Vindicator, because then you're just like, well, I'm probably not going to get much more white because everyone is just fighting over it every time. These are all not very likely. I'll take the Thoroughfare though if we find stuff that really justifies splashing. Literally don't even open up a white card. What a blowout. Good God. Yeah, that's horrific. Because your best bet when you have such a powerful rare like Aurelia's Vindicator, but you're cut off of the color, is to just spend your first couple picks in every pack locking in the white cards. When you literally don't even open a white card in your pack, you just get got. Can't really do anything about it. There isn't even anything that strong off color, honestly. Like, Case of the Crimson Pulse is okay if you're really aggressive and you can dump your hand out, but it's not going to be wild in like a blue-red deck, so we just take it a deuce, I guess. That was just a complete miss. Alright, pack 2, pick 2 has some actual options for us. We can take this makeshift binding to make sure to get some good white cards, and maybe wheel the No More Lies if everybody else is in Boros and just other white decks in general. Pick 3. Yeah, here we go. Now we get a seasoned consultant over another jaded analyst, and that is fine. Pick 4. I don't think everybody else is in Boros, because there's an offender at large and a buzz crusher and a basher here. But I don't think I'm going to main deck a make your move. So I don't really have room for a benthic criminologist. I already have a lot of creatures. So I guess maybe I will. I could have room for 1 5-drop. I'll throw it in. Pick 5. We're not going to make a wide enough board state to be super excited about on the job, so no more lies or unauthorized exit look good here. And this is late enough that no more lies is not going to come back, even if nobody else is blue-white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's going to be nothing left in the pack when it comes back to us anyway. Okay, pick 6 is great. Another Projector Inspector is awesome in detectives. Although Night Watch is tempting just to get more white cards. But I feel like Inspector's so good when almost all your creatures are detectives. I mean, blue has seemed definitely more open than white, so maybe we do still actually take Night Watch. I don't know, I'm still going to go for Inspector. I think it's enough better of a card to take it. Wow. Alright, well, maybe there just weren't a lot of white cards in pack 1, because that's a late case of the Gateway Express. While we don't have a lot of token production, this card's still good, even if it only does like 2 damage. Card is a great 2-for-1, clearing out a creature and buffing your board for the rest of the game, and now we get a Museum Night Watch pick 8. Okay, this pack's been nice. Maybe somebody got pushed off of white because they didn't have like an Aurelia's Vindicator just lock them in, so they saw that it wasn't very open and they actually moved off the color. They're drafting the hard way, I'm drafting the sick way. Grab and eliminate the impossible. Probably eliminate that from our deck. Oh, Not On My Watch is still here. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's not incredible since white is one of the more aggressive colors, but blue-white is a really good tempo strategy where people are going to be swinging back at you. You're not just always steamrolling them and trying to rip blockers out of the way. Pick 12 Detective Satchel? Wow, I guess we should have just been blue-red. But I had a Vindicator, so I don't think that was going to happen. That's just got me locked in on this deck. Sanitation Automaton for a fine filler 2-drop. I don't think we really want no witnesses, because we have so many creatures, but when the only other option is like Sanitation Automaton, I guess we might as well. Griffnot Tracker is a detective. The rest of this pack is dog poop. The good cards are Bite Down on Crime and Case of the Burning Masks. I don't think any other card in this pack is that good. I guess third best is like Unscrupulous Agent. Yeah, just not a good pack. Pick 3. Another Projector Inspector. Could play a Dog Walker, even if we aren't in red, we can still flip it up. It's not that necessary for this deck, though. I think I'll take another Consultant, make sure I get my 2 drops on curve. If we can wheel an Inspector, I'll be really happy with that, but if we can't, another Cold Case Cracker would be fine. There is a Dog Walker there to get somebody to take that over some of those cards, maybe. Another Unauthorized Exit. Another Cold Case Cracker. I think I need 2 drops over the 5th 4-drop here. We are at 24 non-land cards, so I'm going to start just building the deck as I go, so I can just hop right into the gameplay when the draft is done. 14 creatures, so we want to cut another non-creature here. I feel like this deck can probably use the board wipe well enough. Maybe we ditch the case? Maybe a deduce. For just like this value, this draw and discard, that's probably fine. Exit Specialist is great. 15 creatures. I guess if we're running no witnesses, it's fine to get below that kind of 15 creature normal minimum. So tracker, criminologists, the weakest creatures. I guess consultants get a lot worse when you're running less creatures. Oh, here's a reasonable doubt for 2-mana interaction. Alright. More controlling blue-white build here with the board wipe. Sure, I'll run that over a 2-drop creature. So cut like automaton now as well. So we go drop, drop, drop. It's 22 and 18 lands. Here's an out cold. Furtive Courier is pretty nice as well. Either of these are pretty great. I'll take the solid non-creature spell again. Two unauthorized exit for 2-mana interaction and no more lies for a 2-mana counter. Yeah, this looks reasonable. This is probably the deck. I want to get a Deduce in here. Deduce actually is quite a bit better when you have two-mana counter spells, because you get to hold up the counter. If you don't do it, you Deduce, and then it lets you do the same thing next turn, because now you have a clue token. If you have a 2-mana counter, you use it. If you don't, then you sack the clue with your mana, so Deduce is actually kind of a sick combo. Oh, that Crocodile Elf would have been fine in here. Just kind of forgot about its existence. I think I'd rather be on one Criminologist, one Investigator than double Investigator. Sanctuary Wall might have been okay in here if we want to get really defensive, but I've just really hated that card every time I've tried running it for any reason. Okay, so yeah, Deduce actually does seem kind of sweet in here, so I think we will cut one more card for it, and it's definitely not a land. As the last cut. I can't even breathe out of my nose. I guess Tracker. We've got, I guess only 2 other 4-drops if we play these face down, but we could play these face up at times. I mean, how many clues do we have? Maybe it's the Criminologist. Maybe that is just a 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 that are consistently making clues. The Crackers only when they die. No Witnesses never. Investigators is almost never. Yeah, no, Criminologist is actually probably pretty bad. I guess it's a 4/5 to try to stabilize, but I think I'd rather run the Tracker, just be on like blue-white flyers control. 15 blue, 9 white. I do have a double white card though, so I still want those numbers real close, so 9/8 split seems fine. Yep, we'll call it a deck here. Let's just hop right into that gameplay, see how quickly we can jam out a whole draft. I just remembered I'm gonna have to edit this before I can go to bed. Hopefully don't have to do too much editing either. Nice quick games. We'll see. Well, we draw 1 white source and we've got a large chance at victory. Now we draw any land and we've got a great start. Playing against blue-red, and they start with a 2-mana 3/2. Oh. I need to just buy time right now to get to Vindicator. Which, I'm actually going to trade the Sprite into this Performer. Because if they play really aggressively here, being able to have a 3/2 and a 2/2 trade-off is so good if we find the white source. I'm going to hold for that. Forensic Researcher. Alright, that's a much slower card than they started with. As we play the Exit Specialist, since it's more likely to do something. We certainly want to save the Vindicator for later. I kind of have to Projector Inspector. We need to find lands. There is a land. go Cold Case Cracker for Cold Case Cracker. That doesn't seem horrendous. Means we get rid of the Night Watch now that it doesn't look like we're trading on the ground as much. I guess if we hit another land, then Night Watch still would have been nice to play a 3-drop and hold up the unauthorized exit. Oh boy. Alright, we did not hit the land anyway. We could still do so, and we are trying to get more mana, so... Inside source, hope for the land to unauthorized exit while expanding our board. Seems not terrible. I mean, it's really good if we do hit the land. But even just digging closer to the land, I think is fine. We probably have to out cold, so there goes the Cold Case Cracker now. But this can't be blocked by creatures power 3 or greater. I guess it's a little better to just flip an exit specialist than it is to unauthorized exit, so we flip on the attack. To draw discard again. Alright, Analyst gets out of here, right? Vindicator unauthorized exit next turn. Yeah, I mean, all their threats are flying. Analyst doesn't look good. Oh, we do trade into the Cold Case Cracker. Okay. Was not expecting that. Guess our opponent is also playing for the long game. It was really the turn 2 Pyrotechnic Performer that threw me off. Yeah, if they just grind these out for 2-for-1 value, like, we are going to fall behind without Vindicator popping off. So we gotta hope Vindicator pops off. They don't just kill it here. Suppose if they try to just kill it, we can put it back in our hand, but then they'll know exactly what it is. Yeah, I think it's important to hold up the unauthorized exit, which means we can't get in at all. If I didn't have to hold up exit, I could buff up this or buff up this and get in, but I think I need to hold this up. We've just got no plan without the Vindicator. What's this attack? Do they have a board wipe here? Do they have the blue-red board wipe? No. Oh, right. Forensic Researcher can just untap it. That is what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to have to tap out for Vindicator next turn, just period anyway. So I might as well do this so I can surveil and see if I can hit land 6. Now I can't hold up exit to try to protect it. We did hit land 6. I guess they've got the mana for the ward, but if I declare an attack first, it's too late. Cool. Oops, almost did X equals 0. Oh, I have 7 mana? Oops. How did that happen? I'm so out of it. I should have got my own card with this. That's irritating. I'm so out of it, I didn't even see how many lands I had. Oops. Probably doesn't matter. If they don't board wipe, we just out cold and win. If they do board wipe, we'd be in a way better position if I realized we had 7. Alright, that's game. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Well, because Aurelia's Vindicator is just such a good card. It is okay. If you can't count due to illness. We are 1-0 heading into game 2. Another mono blue opener. This time we don't do anything till turn 4. I guess we play the Night Watch face down, and we're on the draw. Yeah, sure. Uh-oh. How many lands did I end up running? I just went with the auto suggester. It can't be that wrong, right? Yeah, 9-8. Yeah, that's almost even. Yeah, what can you do? Sometimes you just don't draw planes. Face down. This is a really good start for our opponent because we probably have to trade into face down, which gives them the evidence for the examiner, which puts them far ahead in cards. My god, is every game going to be us just playing blue cards to dig for planes and in desperation? Case is pretty good. Really want to have our I guess turn 4 case cracker, turn 5 3-drop in case to kill something. That's going to be quite some time before we deduce then. Keep your secrets. Okay. I don't mind a hard casting museum night watch instead now. Got no instant speed interaction if they want to get really funky on blocks here, but I'm definitely not blocking with my inspector, so I think I might as well send it in. Yeah, they're not getting funky on blocks. They have a counterspell here? You got their poop brown lands, kind of hard to see exactly what's going on color-wise. But they do have a blue source. Oh, shoot. Yeah, they have one of the best counterspells in the format. That thing is disgusting. Didn't realize how good it was first, but super flexible. It's a massive 2-for-1 every time. It isn't X mana counter unless they pay X. It's X mana counter unless they pay X plus the greatest power of creatures you control, right? So if you have a 3-power creature on board, then you can just spend green-blue, and this is counter unless they pay 3, even without the X. Like, it's so good. Alright, well, here's the turn of, 3-drop plus case. Oh, there we go. That's a way to deal with the face down. Five mana next turn. If I top deck a land, I could play Investigators next turn. With only one planes, like this is too many white spells. I guess I'm getting rid of Inside Source, sadly. I got instant speed, bounce out of blue. This is gonna suck. I think I need to give them the evidence value. Let's just stop damage here. We're at 10 life. Which is kind of sad. Let the examiner examine some more evidence. Still attack though, trying to trade Inspector with Examiner. We're not blocking the face down at all anyway. We do trade with Examiner. Got 2 Projector Inspectors as well. Alright, now it's only 2 mana to not on my watch, so if we do hit a land, boom. We can actually play a creature and still cast that. Technically, you're kind of like always supposed to loot, but I don't think there's anything I would discard one of these cards for. I guess if I hit the board wipe, I'd discard Investigators for the board wipe. Oh. They're just going to board wipe for me. But they're going to do it for 3 so that they keep the Gardener. Yeah. It's pretty good. V2 Gauzy Inspector. Well, make them replay it. Yep, we'll make them replay it. Doop. Excuse me? Alright, well that one was just the draw 2. Oh, they may discard 2. Okay, so that was just the draw 2 period. I was gonna say the draw 2 discard 2, but they didn't discard at all. Well, their deck's insane. Double Explosion. Our deck's kinda spicy too. Okay, if they can't interact with this face down, we got a shot. If they do interact with it, then there is no shot. I actually count my mana this time. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. So x equals 4. Oops, I win. 1, 2, 3. 4. We're going back up to 10, so I'll send in with both here. We could still lose if they kill the Vindicator immediately. But it evens out the game. Life totals are pretty even and we both get 2 cards back. Pretty equivalent cards. Yeah, they've got the shock. Right. Well, now there's still a game happening. Guess they just replay Criminologists to block Investigators. Oh. 6 mana, that gives them more options. Amogus. That is not good. Oh, that's not bad at all. 8 mana. Okay. And they can't Amogus on blocks. Okay. Can exile the little dude, the Rebel Belt Maverick. And a projector, why not? They have 1 card in their hand we don't know about and 5 total power on their board. So we just don't block. Well, they're gonna do it 3 blocks anyway. Down to 6. Detective Satchel, that's a very, very good one. Very, very good one. Wow. Yeah, that's an absurd top deck. Not as absurd as our Aurelius Vindicator earlier, but still probably maybe enough for them here. 14, so we definitely don't kill them this turn, but we can outcold the Criminologist in the 4/4 on the ground, so we can attack with 3, trigger the case, and then just make more creatures with Inside Source. Feels pretty good. One thing I don't like about that is we aren't stunning flyers to try to get Inside Source to get lethal off a flyer, but I think that's probably fine. It's more damage overall and less damage back to us. I should have drawn the card first. Could slightly change my play. What is the card? Would it have changed my play? No. We would not have had the mana for that. Alright, they're at 8 life. They're gonna have multiple blockers up and a bunch of life thanks to the Vitu-Ghazi Inspector plus Detective Satchel. It's another 1/1 and a 2/4 reach. Or they can put the +1/+1 counter from the Inspector wherever they want it. So they're definitely not dead. It's their own face down. Sick draw. It's a 6 mana flip. What is it, their own Vindicator or something? It's a 6/7 reach? I mean, they could have 3 blockers up if they use Detective Satchel and flip this for 4 less. Put them to like 5 here. Don't feel like we have much other choice than to try to keep the pressure on. I'm only gonna have a single blocker up here though, so if I don't kill them, I'm dead. 1 blocker, I die to removal or bounce or like anything. This is way too much thinking that I can do right now. I don't enjoy this in the slightest. I guess we make this big enough to trade into anything that thing on the ground is. And we send in the Cold Case Cracker as well, because even if it dies, we investigate, so we don't lose any value there. We'll have 3 blockers up to not die if we don't lethal them, which we won't with these attacks for sure. If we attacked with literally everybody, they could have went block, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Actually, no, they could have gone block, and block from Satchel, so we wouldn't have lethaled even if we sent in the whole board, so that was... It's definitely right to not attack with everybody. Okay, so it looks like we're putting them down to 4. They're getting a 1/1 flyer. And deducing for another clue to use the Satchel again next turn. Oh no, they're just going to cash it in right now. Okay. What on earth is your deck? Oh. God has come to reap the sinners. Here we are for game 3. Let's get this rolling. I was trying to play 2 lands in 1 turn. It's the mindset I'm in right now. Jaded Analyst. Oh, check this. This is gonna be sick. Watch, I can tap their analyst to attack with my defender. For 3. Yeah, down to 17. It's the mirror match, we're on the draw, so it's a 55-45 game. They are the 55% favored for being on the play. Alright, well, play a bunch of flyers looks pretty good here. Against the army of analysts. We're playing against the IRS right now. Oh, we're really playing against the IRS. Officious interrogation. Get 3 clues. That is a lot of card draw. It's gonna take a lot of time to draw it all, though. So we can try to outrace them in the sky still. Especially with the out cold, the reasonable doubt. Oh, I should have just traded for one of these. That was my bad. Okay, that's a sick draw. Now I can just trade for both of them. Hello? Let's just counter their nonsense then. Unless it's a 6 mana flip. Ew, it's a fairy snoop. That's irritating, but it doesn't kill anything, so it resolves at this rate. Still holding up reasonable doubt or not on my watch. Projector Inspector doesn't help them. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in the sky next turn. They've got 4 mana up. Got 11 damage on board. Without the analyst. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess even more than 11 once I flip my thingamabob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it's only 10 if I don't flip it. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna lethal next turn. So I am also gonna have a giant lifelinker, so I don't think I need to trade with the second one, but I could, because we're not gonna be cracking back for lethal anyway. Anyhow. Turn 11. We're threatening 2-turn lethal by flipping this, or by flipping it next turn, we'll still get 2-turn lethal. This 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is exactly 2-turn lethal still, so I'm gonna keep it face down so I can hold up all these instants and just react to what they're doing. Still killing them in 1 turn with all the flyers. Seven mana over there. No attacks. Kill you with all the flyers, hold up a counterspell to protect them. I do have to top deck a land for that. Since I have to top deck a land, let's Surveil to try to top deck the land so I can flip the Vindicator and hold up reasonable doubt. Okay. I think we flip Vindicator, hold up reasonable doubt with a lethal attack. It's so much open mana that reasonable doubt probably doesn't stop them though. So alternatively, I just out cold and we just see what the instant is. It also threatens lethal. And I also still hold up reasonable doubt. Okay, maybe it was like a counterspell or something. If it was a counterspell, it wouldn't have worked either way. Because you can't counter a flip. And you can't counter out cold. Alright, I don't know what was in their hand. They had a lot clumped up in there, so maybe it was just a bunch of lands or something. But we are 2-1 heading into game number 4. We'll see if we can keep drawing Aurelia's Vindicator every single game. So far, so good. The Vindicator is in the opener, and we will keep the hand. Although this is like our first two hands where we're going to be digging for the planes. Oh, does it keep happening? Quadruple island before one planes. Well, I know what I have extras of. Islands. Oh my god. Alright, Arena. Message received. But also, if you could hose me a little harder, I would appreciate it. Get to go 2-3 and go to bed. Be sick. Don't hose me to where we go like 5-3 and we play 8 games, but also it's just an average run. Be a huge bummer. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Give me the double white card. Give me the double white card with no planes on board. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, apparently both of us have just irritated Arena because our opponent is stuck on 2 lands. But there's my planes. I could flip this up, but I think it's a little better to just play Tracker if I'm not exiling anything with it. Exile at least one card, like, from my graveyard with it. If nothing else. Face down card. Well, I can't exile that with Aurelia's Didgeridoo, so flip it up, exile Analyst, or just play another flyer. I'm just gonna keep playing flyers. Well, that's kind of nasty. Doesn't impact the board in any way, so we are still actually just really close to killing them now. But it is rude. It's really rude. Gonna pick up my Analyst. And, guess we exile the Agent. You know, that... The Agent actually had, like, so little impact on this game. It was probably better to just... X equals 1. I just blanked out and thought I had just discarded a creature because it made me discard 2. I did not. I did not discard a creature. On the plus side, we're probably not going to have cards in hand for that to exile anyway. Tristani does not get reach in any way. And there's the concession, okay. 4 games for Aurelia's Dingy Dong. We'll see if we can keep it up as we head into game number 5. Here we are for game number 5 on the draw. Our opponent starts off with double green into Sanitation Automaton. Dumps a forest into the graveyard. Are they on the Dream mono green deck? Where they're playing all of the flourishing bloom things that get bigger for each forest you have? That could be it. That could be the bloom thingy-mabob. Case for Automaton does not feel terrible, but yeah, I guess they do have a face down here, so they might not even be casting a spell next turn. Ooh, well, we can do that too now. That changes things, because now we just Vigilant attack with Analyst every turn. I'm gonna hit the 4th mana, even without the 5th, so we'll ditch the 5th. I think the 4th mana is the most important thing, then I can play Cold Case Cracker and I can double up to 2-drops on future turns. It's not a ton of value to having a 5th land yet. Tunnel Tipster. Escape Tunnel? Oh, please, Escape Tunnel for a forest. That would be so funny. It's gonna be a Nervous Gardener and get more mana here. Oh... my tempo good enough to just take this and try to aggro with the Analyst? Might be when we're triggering it basically every turn. Yeah, I mean, we play this, we trigger the Analyst, we hit for 6, next turn we can case and flip it. Well, not flip it, we can solve it. Play and flip Specialist is what I could do for 5, but I think 2-drop, 2-drop is more than enough to do next turn. Okay, they did not escape tunnel for a forest, and I'm a little sad about that. Will they Nervous Gardener for a forest? No, just get double white. Fair enough. Well, I mean, I like our board versus their board. Do I like our 4 cards in hand versus their 4 cards in hand? Hopefully. We'll find out. Okay. Case of the Gateway Express, hold up unauthorized exit, or no more lies. Oh, I guess I have to play Exit Specialist to attack with Analyst this turn and solve the case. That is right. I do need to trigger something that draws me a card. So we don't hold up interaction. Probably okay. Alright, it's a solid trade for them here. Trade and get a 2-2 back, but we have solved our case, which means we kill them in 2 swings in the sky. So if they wait to deal with our flyer, then we can counter their removal and win the game off that. If they deal with it right now, we are tapped out, so there you go. Alright, Makeshift Binding, there you go. Makeshift Binding is one of the best removal spells in the format. The life gain is really big. These games are so tempo-oriented all the time, back and forth swings like this. Stop playing ward cards, please. If they can't interact with Cold Case Cracker, then I can still kill them next turn off of this and Exit Specialist. So they have to hold off here. That is 7 power on board. One last card in their hand. Sending the face down. I need the Cold Case Cracker to try to kill them in a couple swings. It's a lot of damage, but we're not dead yet. Get a chumper and hold up counterspell or bounce. Playing it face down so we have 2 mana up. Okay, they show me a trick and I bounce something to survive. And if they show me removal for Cold Case Cracker, I bounce their binding in their end step to kill them with the other one. Okay, we counter that and win, right? Okay, we do counter that and win. We are now 4-1, and we have won 1 game without Aurelia's Bingy Bong. Aurelia's Bibbidi Bop is back, and we will keep the hand. We just go 3-drop into 4-drop. If they don't attack us early for our Not On My Watch. If they do have like a really good 2-drop creature, I guess we can exile that, and then we get to go 2, 3, 4. Sesame Street it up. Inside Source. Drop the face down. No trades. Just really hope they don't have Extract the Confession. They don't have Extract the Confession, and Not On My Watch is really good against the Night Watch. Actually a huge flavor win as well. You'd be like, excuse me, it's my watch right now? You are not on the clock right now. And then the Night Watch is like, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I'll go home. Alright, I think we gotta hold off. I mean, we need the Vindicator to be like a 25 for 1, because we've hit just all lands. All of our draws this game have been lands so far. Kept a 4-lander. We're on 9 now. Yeah, that's statistically improbable. Six for 6 on them land draws. Let's go. That means the Vindicator's gonna be juiced up. But they're a black-white deck, and all they need is a single removal spell to just completely negate everything the Vindicator did for us. Alright, we're gonna have to just play a land and flip a Vindicator on X equals 3 next turn now. We've reached that point. 7 for 7. I'm straight up unstoppable today. Actually go to the casino. Got a full house and everything? This is X equals 3. I'm sorry. I have to do sick brain math again. Yeah, this is... They crack back for 3, but we hit for 4 and gain 4, so we do hit with everybody. there's any card in the entire set that can win when you draw 7 lands in a row, it might be Vindicator. Oh, I've got the board wipe. We do get the clue off the Cold Case Cracker. Luckily, that did make them lose their own creatures, too. Investigators can't bounce itself for a clue. Oh, wow. We are 8 for 9 on lands. If I play it, it's just going to trade into a Vigilante anyway, so I might as well just keep it and get the bounce value. Reverse no witnesses time. Case of the Stash Skeleton. Alright, well now... Oh my god. 9 out of 11. Now we board wipe with no witnesses and they're just kind of happy because the Skelly Man is gone, which means that the case is solved. They get to tutor. Double block trade into investigators. Or that's true, they could also just keep lifelink with Savior and we've got no shot. We have to just wipe and let them grab whatever they need. Yeah, no, I think after the Vindicator died, this game just became unwinnable. With the 7 lands as the first 7 draws of the game, they needed to just have straight up nothing to deal with Vindicator. And they did have something to deal with it. They had a full-on board wipe. Oh no. Opponent sees the discards, you're like, what is going on over there? Why are you running a 20 land deck? Murder. Bye, my friend. Yeah, I only stop 3 damage with that right now. I feel I can get better. Although the clue is quite important. Okay, well that's really good. They have like a double confiscation in hand here. They got me. But I think I need to play the lands because I'm actually spending a lot of mana now. 2 on this and 6 on this. Yeah, that's exactly 8. So I do need to play the land to have all this mana. Arena actually had my back on this one. Had to make sure we have 13 mana this turn. No, 11 mana this turn to do everything we want to do. Homicide Investigator. Well, that's a very good card. Oh, boy. So big, I kind of have to out cold. I could bounce that in response to counter it, but and then I'm not like fully killing a token with my bounce, which feels better. I guess I could bounce and try to reasonable doubt after they or when they try to recast the inside source. Alright, I'm just gonna tutor. It's not gonna be a 1 black mana card, so I'll draw my card. Deduce. Deduce is real good this late with this much mana up. Just draw the 2. Immediately. Inside source is real good. Jaded Analyst is a card. Top deck any more clue production, that can be attacking as well next turn, and they're down to 12, so every bit counts. So we will drop it down. But now we gotta see what the best card in their deck is, because they just got the tutor for whatever they wanted, and they have more than enough mana to pay for reasonable doubt for whatever it is. Wisp Drinker Vampire. When their creatures enter the battlefield, they drain us for life. Okay, and then the Vigilante doesn't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 if I use the inside source ability. Really, really close to lethal. Can make Exit Specialist really hard to block. It's Menace and can't be blocked by power 3 or greater. Do I unauthorized exit just right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What could I hit that would kill them? Nothing, right? Yeah, there's nothing in my deck that adds power and then kills them. Just put them close to lethal. So it's better to just hold on to this. Find a Museum Night Watch. Because their whole board Death Touch Lifelink for 7. No, power 2 or less. So just the Homicide Investigator. Okay, that's not good for me, but it's not the complete end of the world. They do have to consider blocking. On the job would kill them. They're not going to block. Okay, if I do bounce the Vampire right now, then I can stop them from getting lifelink next turn, which might be worth it when they're down to 4. We force them to replay the Vampire for half their mana. I guess I can just bounce in response to them dumping all of their mana into that ability. They have 9 mana total. If they play a 10th land, they could inside source the Investigator and get the lifelink, but then they have 0 blockers up and they just die. Okay. Two cards in hand. Do we just say, show me the combat trick for lethal? And then respond to the combat trick here? Kind of feel like we do. They're at 4? I can afford to do this, because I'll still have a creature off of this. Death Touch Lifelink. Ooh, so that their whole board is going to have lifelink when they use the Wisp Drinker Vampire's ability as well, so they'll gain a lot of life here. I think we have to resolve this to get them to dump all their mana into the Vampire and then bounce the Vampire so they can't replay it. they're not dumping all their mana into vampire. I mean, if I try to bounce the vampire, they can respond by activating the ability, in which case they only have 1 mana left, so they don't play anything else. They have no creatures left on board, and they're gonna gain 5. They'll be at 9. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power. I won't kill them on the crackback if they choose to gain off a vampire. If they don't gain off vampire and they don't hit anything here, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power, and they'll be at 7, so resolve it then. Exit whatever they draw into to try to block with. I guess if they hit a 2-power creature, vampires enter the battlefield effect will work and they'll survive. Barely. They have to choose right now, because if they crack a clue, then they don't have the mana to gain more life. This is a close ending. Okay. No life gain is the choice. They're going to crack some clues, look for a 2-mana or less creature to drain us for life. They actually have to hit... Okay. I was going to say they actually have to hit 2, because Inside Source is going to do more damage than it looks like. It's going to do 2 damage. So we have 8 damage on board. Their last card for 2 mana needs to be Interaction. It's not going to be an instant seed creature, so I'll mill that. It's not Interaction, okay. Arena had our best interests in mind the whole time. It was just gearing us up for that 11 mana turn. We are 5-1 heading into game number 7. Aurelia's Sriracha sauce is back again. Only 1 game we have not had Aurelia's stuff. Let's extract the confession. We didn't get extract the confession. And now if they have it, we just sack the cold case cracker. Now if they have murder or anything, we can reasonable doubt that. Cannot on my watch the attacker if it flips up into something massive. Excuse me, fairy schnoop. You're fine. We will bounce. They are blue-black. They did mill and out cold. Find the island. Drop a face down. Alright. Out cold. It's a good use of 5 mana. Drop this now so I can hold up the flip if we need to do it right now. And if we don't need to do it right now, then I'm holding up reasonable doubt or not on my watch. Although I don't really expect haste out of Dimir. Face down card is fine. Let's crack the clue. Land would have been the sickness there. Because then I could pay for the disguise. For case or exit or anything. Definitely case right now, but can't pay for the disguise, so I don't think we attack on the ground. We might flip Vindicator to hit for 7 in the sky. Because I don't really have an alternate line this turn. I don't really do anything. Just hold up Reasonable Doubt, Unauthorized Exit. I guess that's not the worst. Just hold up some interaction. Another one? Yeah, it's another 1/4 flyer. I'll just bounce that because it's annoying. I have to replay it. I can case it post-combat. Guess that's fine. I can save the bounce for something else. I kind of wish I attacked with all three, so if I did post-combat case, I would have flipped it, but then they could have just like ended up trading their face down for Aurelia's beef. We would have been having a very bad time. Obviously, that wouldn't have occurred since they were just going to flip that up as a 1/4 no matter what, but we couldn't have possibly known what the face down was. Whether or not they'd be okay with just trading. Okay, end step. Screw it. Let's bounce the flyer, surveil to a land, and just hit for 7 in the sky, holding up Reasonable Doubt with the ward on our flyer. Let's make this clock fast. They extract a confession, that will be pretty depressing, because that is cheap enough that we can't counter it since they wouldn't have to pay the ward. But I think that's the only thing that can get the Vindicator. Otherwise, they don't have the mana for ward and Reasonable Doubt. I should have attacked on the ground just to trigger the case. Certainly would have been worth it. Just kind of liked having a backup plan to just flip up Exit Specialist if we don't end up casting Reasonable Doubt. Robbery for 1, you got it. That's not getting countered. They hit a non-land because Arena cheats and tells you if they hit non-lands or lands. If the cards go up here, it's non-lands. If the cards are down here, they're lands. Replay the Fairy Snoop. I guess that's why we didn't attack with our face down, is so I can actually bounce the Fairy Snoop to make sure I still have lethal on board. Because we did just bounce it last turn, so they are going to have the flying blocker to not just die. They need 2 mana targeted removal that kills Vindicator, which I don't think they'll have, so I think I do this right now. Yep, there's the concession from our opponent. I probably shouldn't have done that. I mean, I've got 6 mana, so I certainly have the mana to just flip Specialist during my turn, and still have Reasonable Doubt up to protect Vindicator, so just in case there's a Disfigure in the set that I'm not remembering, it's still counter. I guess, yeah, we could have countered their unauthorized exit, but they would have just exited the Cold Case Cracker and survived anyway, so anything they could have had, they could have just done Cracker and had the mana for. Well, maybe not. Would have been better to flip during our turn if they had Murder, double black and 1 to use on Cold Case Cracker to try to survive. Whatever. It is what it is. Loose plays today, but incredible draws with trying to keep the joke up, but I can't think of more gibberish to call. Aurelia's thingamagook. I guess that's what it'll be. Aurelia's thingamagook. Well, we've made it all the way to the final boss. We're 6-1, 1,800 gems and 5 packs. See if we can't get the maximum prize out. Just gotta get one win in these next 2 games. Here we are for the final boss on the play with a perfect little control hand here. We get to sit here and deduce. Just get ready to board wipe. Really hope we're against Boros. That would be sick. Alright, we're against green. Green tends to have like a really good long game. So the board wipe should not just be an instant win in this kind of matchup, especially if they're the kind of green deck using Public Thoroughfare. They're going to be a very splashy, very bomby deck. So I think we do, in this matchup, get things started with Projector Inspector. This is 4 island, 3 plains. I guess we go 3-3. Now they disguise something to trade into Inspector. That is not a disguise. It does still trade into Inspector, which I think is fine. Although now with Case of the Gateway Express, I'm less inclined to lower my board. Now let's hold off. Like, I don't think they're going to want to trade the Courier for the Inspector, but it's really bad for us if they do now. But we really need more creatures for Case of the Gateway Express. Counter Nervous Gardener? It's probably not the greatest when they already had Public Thoroughfare out. Not bad, though. Alright, Reasonable Doubt for the counterspell. Set up the draw, slow things down, and get in with Inspector. Maybe I Reasonable Doubt just to make this have Menace at this point. Even if I don't care that much about the spell. Start menacing in for 3 damage a turn. Until they overwhelm us, and then we no witnesses. They are 1 color off from a Niv Mizzet. I am inclined to keep this Reasonable Doubt now. Because I'm 1 creature away from killing that 3-2 with Case, but I just can't draw a creature this game. And they're 1 plains or island away from casting something super devastating. I guess we could just board wipe if they end up doing that. Yeah, maybe I still should have just Reasonable Doubted since I've got the backup board wipe in hand. Alright. That's my 2nd creature. For Case if we want to do that, but I can already attack in on board. Now we have difficult choices. Because do we want them to just play more creatures in this board wipe, or do we want to just get Vindicator down to guarantee that we're doing some stuff? When we can put Vindicator down and hold up Reasonable Doubt and then flip it up where X equals 3 next turn, that has got to be more than good enough. The board wipe is just the mega backup plan. Probably still should have cased. Wow. Dude, really? Well, I mean, that would have got us whether or not we board wiped. They were not using that on Inspector, so even if I sat here and waited for the board wipe, they'd still use that the second we Vindicate. But we might have had enough mana to do something with it. That's egregious. I really wish these uncounterable spells were just uncounterable by ward specifically. I think that plays well with Disguise, but hosing all the counter spells in the format is just brutal. I think counter spells have been generally mediocre and unplayable long enough. You can let them do their thing. What is a 1/1 doing in this 5-color deck? Being fodder for Undercity Eliminator? Okay. Sack the 1/3 instead of the 1/1. I guess that one's got Menace. That's something. Okay, we lose. They can play creatures and lands off the top of their deck, so they get to play 3 or 4 cards a turn. Never run out of gas. They can also play 2 lands a turn, so they can't just get land clumped by it. And that's too expensive. Yeah. I think the only thing that really mattered this game was just Slice from the Shadows. Which got completely destroyed by Slice of Shadows. It's the one card of the game, really. Tipster with the immediate creature to get it out of the case range, but here we go. Now it's back in case range. Alternatively, not hold up Reasonable Doubt to kill the face down, which I think is worth it for the average face down. Yep, that's a 4/5 that forces a bad block. That was worth it. Yep. Creature from the case, land from the case. It's drawn 2 now. Guess it still hasn't like popped off. But we're not ending this game quick enough to stop them from doing more. That was also from the case. That was 3 cards, 4 cards from the case. 5 cards from the case. Good lord. Plus a clue from Gadgeteer. Now they surveil to make sure the next card is castable off the case. Doesn't look like it is. But I don't think it matters. That was already a draw 5 turn, right? 2 lands and 3 creatures. And they surveilled and got a clue as well. Oh wow, now they analyze the pollen for the best creature in their deck. Yeah. Our opponent has fully entered Magical Christmas Land. There's Teysa, which is way more than cheap enough to just not get Reasonable Doubted. Also going to give them just an unending army of 1/1 flyers so that we never get into the sky again. Crime Stopper Sprite is a start to actually getting it in the sky. I have to buff and I have to play this Crime Stopper Sprite. To try to kill them next turn. Because I need 6 damage in the sky. And even with it, if they get another clue, they're just going to have 2 flying blockers anyway, and I'm not going to be able to get there. I guess even one flying blocker is enough, because, like, sure, I could try to suspect one of my own cards, but that only gets one of them through for damage. So do I hold on to this? All it's gonna do is stun 1/1/1 flyer, but it stops them from trading that 1/1 into something. I'm actually taking so much on the crackback that I will die in 2 swings, just like they will die in 2 swings. I kind of think I have to get my power on the board now. I don't know if it's even worth it to hold up reasonable doubt, but we know Tipster's a 3/3. Don't know if the 2/2's any bigger. It probably is. Making sure they trigger the Tesa here to get another clue. If I make sure that Tesa doesn't trigger and I suspect Tracker, I put them to 1, but I have nothing in the deck that buffs unless I had gotten this to be solved by now, which I couldn't have done while still getting as much damage in. I do have 2 out colds in the deck. That might be the big out here. Yeah, I can't really lose another flyer. Oops. Can't really lose another flyer here. Just to stop them from getting the clue for the 1/1. They're down to 12 cards. Maybe we can get the mill out. Probably not. 12 cards is enough to kill us, most likely. What is a Nervous Gardener? We do get a kill. So yeah, Tesa, crack a clue, get a 1/1 flyer. Pass turn, crack a clue, get a 1/1 flyer. They only need 4 mana up to crack both the clues, so Reasonable Doubt doesn't do anything except make Tracker need to be double blocked, which they already will. They'll just double block with 2 1/1 flyers to kill it. Yep, crack a clue now for a flyer. So they can only do it once per turn and then crack the next clue during our turn for another flyer. Okay, we can stop this, because if they pay for this, they can't get another flyer, which is kind of a big deal, because then they don't kill either of our flyers on blocks. It's probably our last opportunity for this to even do anything. If they pay for this, we win with top deck removal. Yeah, so they can't pay for that, so we did genuinely counter something. Oh, and it was a Vengeful Creeper, nice. Oh, they could have paid for it. Because they didn't play their second land for turn yet. I forgot about the second land. Well, still worked out. We actually countered the thing. Oh no. Now they have 3 clues. Well, the theoretical oops I lethal got there. Unauthorized exit. 7, 8, 9. They just kill us on the crackback. No, they don't. They have to lose a flyer here. Get to put them to freaking 1. Oh, they do still lethal us because lead pipe for the +2/+0. Yeah, I mean, we can't hold enough blockers up anyway. Got a lot closer than I thought. I mean, the slice from the shadows on the Vindicator was just devastating, as we said before. Definitely the play of the game. Okay. Game 8. Or that was game 8. We're actually going to game 9. The finals. I can still do numbers. I promise. Here we are for the final boss. Today's final game of Magic, win or lose. We desperately need a blue source, and even if we get there, I guess this does a really nice control deck impersonation here. Yeah. Actually try to play just hard blue-white control with this hand. Please don't be green, of course. Could I just ever play against Boros when I want to actually play against aggro? No. No, I cannot. I will only play it when I'm the grindy green deck. When I'm the sick control deck with a board wipe in hand, we cannot find aggro for the life of us. Just find multicolored green mush with a bunch of bombs, which is a worse matchup. Yeah, that's a big green-white bomb. Reanimate all their lands and enchantments and stuff as 5/5s. Got a board wipe coming up. We don't counter that. We draw a card. See if we can get them to play another creature here and then board wipe. We play a big scary non-creature. We've got no more lies. They flip a face down. We're pretty sad. Alright. The double Maverick is actually pretty decent against the board wipe. Still got value in the graveyard. Polygraph Orb on the empty board. Set up the card draw engine that can also shoot us a bunch, make us discard cards or sack creatures. Polygraph Orb is pretty nasty in this slower kind of matchup here. I think I gotta hold up interaction every turn so I can't just dump my hand. Okay, Inspector's fine. I can't counter it anyway. Oh, if they just start loading that thing up, this is going to be a great bounce target. Okay, Maverick's cool too. Yeah, we're just going to bounce this Inspector. Hold up flip plus unauthorized exit or no more lies or whatever. 1 mana off from buffing the detective when we get in. Whip Cracker, kill the detective token. They've got the mana to just pay for the no more lies. Then that'd be the only They get to make this turn. That's actually so good here. Yeah, even if it's their only play for the turn, that card is great. Yeah, that's disgusting. Juice it up. I really don't want to bounce that one. Although I don't have any more tokens on board yet. It's like in the future. Like a future-proofing measure. Not want to bounce it. Yeah, I guess we're just doing absolutely nothing now. Oh, okay. Do a little bit of something. Okay, well, there we go. There's our great counter target. Got there eventually. Ooh, Crime Stopper Sprite's a great one. I have 2 mana up here, so yeah, I can't afford the Inside Source ability. Can't afford to draw a card before I do anything. I don't think I'm going to double up these spells. Actually hold a land for Unscrupulous Agent. They're going to make me exile a card from hand. And I guess extra card in hand is also useful for Polygraph Orb. So I could discard a card to not take the damage, or to not sacrifice a creature. It's the Inspector again, which gains life every time they play it. And another Inspector that doesn't. Can bounce both of them. Can also just bounce one and then Inside Source the sprite up. Looking for our second out cold. Second out cold could get there. Our Vindicator could as well, but Vindicator can always get there. I need 6 mana up after Inside Source. I guess I don't need to exile an attacking creature, so I don't need 6 mana up. Never mind. I should have held the land again, since I didn't need extra mana up. Killer Among Us is terrible. We are down to 12, and now their board state is massive. Island is also terrible, but in 2 different senses of the word. And double block Crime Stopper. Also double block Cold Case Cracker, but that wouldn't kill it, so... Eh. Oh yeah, they can just whip Cracker, but that is just an actual 1-for-1 trade and we get a clue out of the deal. Sure. Okay, this land is actually useful to play Night Watcher to hold up Bounce plus Exile. Bounce plus Exile feels really ideal here. I mean, just bouncing the token is going to be big game. Do I even exile the tokens so I can bounce a blocker? Will they try to double block kill the Crime Stopper sprite? I lose my exile removal, but I gain the ability to crack back when they're at 10, which is kind of huge. I should have waited till they sacked the Killer Among Us. That was loose. Okay, if we just take one Okay, well that's cool. Sack it anyway. Thank you. I guess they just want the evidence engraved. Yeah, so it would have ended up sacked either way. It's bad. Hello, out cold. That is very good. I hit for 4 2 turns in a row with Crime Stopper Inside Source. 4 is not 10. 9 mana. 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 2 is 9, so we can out cold and crack the clue. Or no, we can buff Sprite, then bounce one of the blockers, then out cold when they move to combat. Guess they get to replay this one as a 2-4 because they just have so much evidence again, though. This doesn't even play quite as well as I want it to. No, this was actually not the play. It was just sit here again. That a second? Oh boy. Sure is. Gross. And they've got exactly the mana to replay the Vitu-Ghazi Inspector too. God, these things stack up insane because the leftover tokens are just not summoning sick. Shoot, I probably should have out-colded just the leftover tokens so they can't get a 4-4 in here. We're gonna have 5 blockers up? Alright, whatever. 6-3. Did not have the brain energy for this game. Might have been winnable, but their deck is wild. And we have not drawn our biggest bomb, so... Of course I made the wrong choice. So we lose our only flyer, and it's completely over. Alright. I'm gonna go to bed. But 6 and 3 is an incredible run. I think Aurelia's Vindicator did hard carry for sure. That card's insane, but the rest of this deck is not the greatest. Like, there's decent synergy, but I don't think the colors were massively open, so pretty happy with a 6-win run, especially playing as loose as we have today. I'll take it. That's still excellent value. That's still up in gems, and I get to go to bed now, so pretty happy with the end result of being done for the day. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video and you're interested in seeing more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.